Everybody. Hi, Luann. That was actually me typing those. Happy 4th of July Eve. Happy birthday, America Eve. I'm just going to wait for everything to catch up here. I guess I forgot to push my button on my phone, so I knew that I was live. There, it looks like I'm live. So happy birthday, or, happy birthday, America. Sorry, I meant to say, yeah, Luann, I posted a couple of links in the chat because I forgot to include them in the description. So I'm going to get that all out of the way. Any links that I shared are affiliate links, which just means if you placed an order using one of those links, I get a small kickback on there or a small commission, I guess you should say, which helps me bring you content. So hello. Hi, Penny. So tonight we're going to make some America themed cards because, tomorrow is the big 250th birthday. So hi, Brandon. And I want to be able to make some cards. So I pulled a few things. I did pull the simple sentimental, and all I pulled out of there was like, hello, so grateful, celebrate, thank you, happy birthday. So I have that. And then I pulled the friendly frames and the Theo type because I thought I might use this frame here tonight to make a card. That's the two links I shared in the chat. Hello, Debbie. Hi, Brandon. I grabbed some different sparkle overlays. I have both the strips and the main. We have the Patriotic Paper Pack, which was a freebie. If you got it, is also available for purchase. And we're going to use that as our pattern paper. I did link the Patriotic bundle, but I just grabbed some red, blue, silver, and white card glitter stock just for some things. Yes. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Mom. Happy 4th of July weekend. And last but not least, not that last but not least, I have the blue jean and the heirloom tomato cardstock. And where did it go? I have pre-cut out some of the Stars and Stripes sentiments. I already have them all pre-cut here. And I also grabbed some dies in case we want to use some other things. So let's just get to cracking. We're just going to make some cards. Nothing super fancy today. Nothing that's going to take some drying necessarily. I don't think I'm going to get any liquidy stuff out. My camera looks like it's at a little bit of an angle. So close your eyes for just a second if you get sick, because I'm going to try to straighten it. That looks a little better. All right, let's get started. Let's go through our paper pack first and choose some papers. I just, it's the holiday weekend. A lot of people are on vacation already, and I thought it would be fun to make some cards using these colors and all these things. I think I'm going to use this red, and I think I'm going to use this star blue for the first card. Okay. Hi, Kate from Florida. How are you? I pulled some cardstock. I just cut down some A2 card panels, and then I also cut a couple different versions of mini slim cards for tonight. And we need a paper trimmer. I'm not using any sketches or anything tonight. We're just going to cut some paper. I'm going to make it go this way because I want my stripes to go this way, like it's a flag. So we'll make the first one a horizontal card. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that down at 5, 5. Hopefully I'm doing this right. Nope, I didn't do it right. Yes, I did. 5 by 4. We may even try to use up all of our scraps tonight too. So there's our first piece. Just gonna go ahead and put that down. We're going to give it plenty of, I cut that way. Where did we cut that? We cut it at 5 by 4. Okay, well then we're cutting this at 3, 7, 5. So our border looks a little better. Should have an extra white border tonight. That works. So we got this. You could totally make these into, and I can save this for like the inside, into birthday cards, thinking of you cards. Just because they're red, white, and blue doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be, patriotic. You can use them for any, just for the 4th of July. You can use them for anything. Hello. Yes, North Carolina. It is, well, you're getting the heat we already had. It's still a little warm, but it's not horrible here. I'm going to do 2.5 I'm going to do 3 and then see if I want to cut it down. Wait, how long is this piece? 6 inches? Yeah, let's do 3 because that's in half. Okay. So yeah, you guys got the heat that we already had. So I'm just going to kind of peek and see and look at that. I've got an awesome looking flag already. However, and I've got this little piece that I accidentally cut off, because I wanted to, and I could put that right in there to make an extra little stripe down the middle of there. I think we need to trim this off just a hair. Yeah, that's what it was. We had, with the heat index, we had 105 for a couple days. We had actually had my first tornado warning in years yesterday. And the tornado was south of us. It was at work, and I was talking to my real estate agent pop in, and she's like, what do we need to do? And I said, well, let's go look outside, like any good Midwesterner will do. Because I wanted to see, I live in a valley, so, it's down below. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, let's check the radar. I'm like, oh, it's south of us. I think we're good. So we just kept working, and then we lost power, and then my phone was out, and it was kind of nuts. So it was time to go home and be home for the night. Today wasn't too bad. We've had lots of rain, though. We've had some flooding in the areas. We've had streets shut down from Minnesota to, I know, Interstate 35 over by Des Moines had some stuff shut down due to flooding. It's supposed to rain. It was raining when I came upstairs, but heard some thunder, but not as bad tonight. So this is the sparkle overlay strips. You can get them in the big pieces. That's what these look like here. So I could cover this whole thing, but I think what I want to do is just add a little bit of sparkle. And I'm thinking of what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off, and I'm thinking about putting one right there. And I'm thinking about putting one right here. And then I might split this off and put it one right. Let's see what it looks like. If I put one right down the middle. And yeah, I think I'm going to put one right down the middle. What do you guys think? One right down the middle. Yeah, it got cool really fast yesterday. I can tell you that much, that it was like 85 degrees, and that storm came on. And I mean, it just started. I mean, it was getting dark. It was getting rainy looking. And like I said, I had a real estate agent come in the office to do some paperwork with me. And she's like, I just got that done before my outside work done before it started to rain. And so I was like, well, I'll just stay inside for a little bit. And then that kind of went all crazy. It was just, and we had quarter and golf ball size hail in different places in town. I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to trim them all off first. And then it literally, it was 10 degrees cooler almost instantly. So I came home. I ran a couple errands for work that I had to do. I had to go like the bank and the post office. And it was in the afternoon. It was 3 almost 4 o'clock. And it was ugly looking out there. So I quick ran home. We were sitting outside for just a minute with the pup. And I looked up and I could see 2 clouds going like this. They didn't come down, but they were swirling up way up high. I mean, over on the Wisconsin side, of course. But I was like, let's go inside. Those do not look pretty. Fortunately, that was after. So we were pretty good by that time. All right. So the first thing I want to do. Yeah, they are. I mean, it was touch and go, I thought, for sure, because I live, like I said, I live right in a valley. So, it always kind of makes me nervous if a tornado would hit my little town, because you'd come down a hill and they go across the river and there's another hill. I don't know. Can they go up and down hills? If it comes down the hill, can it get back up? But all right. So we're going to do first is put this piece down. And I'm going to put it down right as much as I can down the middle. Looks close enough to the middle, right? There we go. Just to break up that really big patch of pink, right? That was right there in the center. And then excuse me, I'm going to put these sparkle strips down. So what are people doing this weekend? My tradition is to go berry picking in the morning. It's supposed to be nice. So hopefully the berries are ready to be picked. They were a little sour last week, but they were looking pretty good. So when I do the sparkle overlay, I put them down just a little bit and then I try to peel it off. The strips are a little easier to control, obviously, because they're not quite as big and you can kind of go gentle. And I'm trying to keep it as straight as I can. And then if I get any over, I'll just underlay it. But I wanted to show you, look at the difference. Look at the difference in that. Isn't that cool? Oh, no, Kate, no, far from it. But that's okay. Thank you. I appreciate the vote of confidence and the encouragement. I'm going to peel that one straight off. And I'm going to put this one down on this one here. This piece of red seems like it's a little bit thicker. Or maybe my strip is a little narrower. Let's see here. It's close enough. So I'm going to put that on the edge. This one I didn't peel off gentle. I peeled the whole thing off because, like I said, the strips are a little easier to go. And put that down. I did want to say next week will be a pre-recorded video. I don't know for sure what it might be yet because I will be crafting out of town. Well, Debbie, then hopefully you'll be crafting with me tomorrow because I will be crafting tomorrow with the mustache crew. I've been I started curating another company that I have a lot of products for besides Brutus Monroe, and I have been adding them to my stash and making my life just excited. Yeah, so next week I'll be crafting with my mom, so I will not be in person. So I will not be here live. It will be pre-recorded. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do yet. It kind of depends on if the post office delivers my package first. All right. Now I think I might switch this around and do it this way because now we could make this extra sparkly too. I'm going to flip the stars this way. And actually make this really sparkly, but I kind of want to leave it the way it is and just have those stripes be the sparkle. I think that's kind of fun. So I'm going to celebrate the 4th of July, hopefully getting a picture of Christopher. Well, dunk him for us, please, Luann. Please dunk him for us. I mean, that would be, I would be all on board on the dunking of it. I hope so. Another one. I'm not sure. Oh, yes. So I curate for Brutus Monroe, which means for Best Stash, which means I'm obviously because I know a lot about obviously the Brutus Monroe products. And so I go in and when we get new products in, which I have to do that this weekend, is I have to actually get the July stuff. I'll probably do that tonight while I'm watching some TV. After the live, I have to finish approving all of the July products to get them in. I just got them in and I just ran out of time this last couple of days. So I haven't had a chance to do that. And then I have been waiting till I got all my Brutus Monroe updated and I've been slowly adding my own stash. Instead of waiting for things to be brought in, I just sat down and wanted to add my own stash. So what I'm talking about, for those of you who don't know, it's Mustache is an app that my friend Tracy and Sue started, and it's a app for organizing. It's not just for organizing your stash. That was the start of it, but it also has the ability to have a gallery where I can upload projects and add videos. Like I could add this video under this card tonight, so if people are looking in their stash and have this product, they can watch my video on how I make it. And then I can search by tags like 4th of July and red, white, blue stars or sentiment. And I have enjoying it tremendously. And so I've started implementing some other older stamps that are retired from my first start of collections. And I'm now trying to get them help get them approved so they can be shared with everybody. These are the Stars and Stripes sentiments that I pre-cut. And we've got all sorts of them. I just want to make sure I think, and I've got Freedom and Fart line to the front, home of 4th of July. I think I'm going to do the Red, White, and Woohoo. No, I don't want to do Red, White, and Woohoo. Let's do Party Like It's 1776. I think that's like a good one. It is, Debbie. It is. That's okay. You know, it happens. Life gets in front of us. So what I'm going to do is I have a piece of scratch paper that I cut off my card bases. And I'm going to just start taking my Olo markers and I'm going to just go like this right here. And I'm going to look. And I said, look at how close of a match that I could show you. So I just looked at what I thought might be a good match. Oops, there we go. That's close enough to me. I'm not going to do a lot of blending, maybe a little bit, but I'm just going to add a little bit of color. Maybe I will do a 2-color blend here quick on one side. Party Like It's 1776. And for those of you who don't know, I'm also a bicentennial baby. So it is my 50th year. So I'm excited. I want to make it to 100 so I can celebrate the 300th birthday of our country. I think that would be fun. On my 100th. Goals, right? We all got to have goals in life. Life's too short to be sad and worried about things. Happy to be here and living in the greatest country in the world, in my opinion. I am very grateful. So, sorry, I get kind of quiet sometimes when I color because I'm so afraid I'm going to color outside the lines. Every time I sing this, see this, I'm like, party like it's 1776, even though that's not the right thing. Hi, Lynn. How are you? All right. Now, I think for a little bit actually fun dimension, I need to add some foam tape. We need to just, you know, zhuzh these up a little bit. I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of my, and actually, I know what else I'm going to do. We're going to add a little more sparkle. Now, I'm going to use a die from my stash. It's just a plain old star die. I'm going to use it to make, I'm going to cut some stars out, I think, and out of the sparkle overlay, and we're going to add some more sparkle to our card, if that's okay with you guys. All right, let's get this on first. This kind of reminds me of an old world kind of flag or an old timey flag. And I think I'm going to pop this guy up too, because I think we need more dimension. And I actually wanted to say something about, I've saved a piece. This, all is well in Akron. Well, there you go. We're pals. Debbie, we're pals. This is a piece of sparkle overlay, and I had a wild and crazy thing of keeping this. So I wanted to show you. This is the release paper. Look at this. I'm going to keep this sheet. This was actually, I think this was from our class that I took, the watercolor class that I took with the air group. But I'm going to keep this on my desk from now on so that when I have, and I learned this from, I'm sorry if I splub her name, Tina from Coffee and Cards. When she makes cards a lot of times and she puts stuff on foam tape, she'll get it ready and she'll stick them to something like this until she's ready to make her cards. And I thought the other day when I had this extra piece, I'm like, that is perfect. I'm going to, instead of keeping these small little pieces from my foam tape, I'm going to keep this big sheet off to the right, and then I can stick my foam tape on there and it won't stick to other stuff. Okay, except that I can't get the backing. All right, so we've got this, and we're going to party like it's 1776. And then let's get some sparkles. So is your youngest. He is 50, and there are 3 other kids from where he grew up. They get together for each other. Oh, that's pretty cool. So instead of the sparkle overlay that is the same, I'm going to use a different one because I want one that doesn't have as much pattern to it. So I'm just going to grab I think this is just the regular sparkle because it doesn't say anything. This is the old packaging. So like, oh, here, there's a smaller piece I've already cut some from. So like I said, this piece that I stuck this to, this is just one of these. So I just peeled this off, put it on a full sheet, and I kept this, okay? And then I'm gonna grab this little die from my stash. This was from my dear friend, Leslie, who no longer has her company. And so it is an older die, but any star die would work. I just happen to have this one and it's going to work perfectly. It's a very bitty, bitty, bitty star die. And I'm going to put it on. I'm going to try to put it on as overlay. So I wanted to show you the overlay cuts beautifully. Now, of course, because we're live and I said that, it probably won't, because that's just the way it works sometimes. I'm using an Anna Griffith Empress Mini, and I'm actually going to run it through twice just to be safe, because it's the overlay has those, it's thicker. It's like 2 layers of, you could also do that with the sparkles. Yeah, perfect. Now we're going to be a little struggle bussy here. So I hope you're okay with that. Actually, that just stuck to that piece, so we're okay. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off and hopefully not have stars fly everywhere. Okay. Let me get my little hors d'oeuvre trays here. And I'm going to poke those in there so I know where they're at. Now, one of these still, see, some of them, they already came off the backers because they're so little. The backers are just flopping off of them. So I'm going to quick grab my tweezers. If I can find them. There they are. And what I want to do is I'm going to take these little tiny stars that look at how tiny they are. And we're going to just put them on the inside of these stars. And it looks like a lot of the backers fell off. So I'm going to try to I'm going to have to poke them out. So that is something I learned with these teeny tiny little dies. They're coming out, the backers coming off right away, and that's okay. So we're going to just put a few. You could also do gems. We could do gems for some of them too. Maybe we'll do gems for some and stars for some. All right. Actually, I'm going to try to line this up and just stick them in. That will work. It did not work. Where did it go? All right. I'm not going to play with all of them. We're going to try to just get some of them out. I'm going to stick them right to my finger. There we go. We got a couple right here. And the funny thing is you could actually keep the backer because the backers make perfect little white stars as well. All right. Put that one on here. I need just a couple more. And then we'll do some gems too for some extra funness. Is that a word? That sounds like thunder. I think the fireworks have started. People were setting some off. So those of you who have fur babies that don't like that, I wish them the best of luck. Okay, for these ones, they're kind of half on, half off. So I'm going to take my stars very carefully. Okay, it's stuck to me. They're stuck everywhere. That's the one thing about the backer pieces is that they are very, very static clingy. All right, we're going to stick that one on there. Oh my goodness, it's sticking to me everywhere. All right. You stick right there. Does anyone have traditions for food on the 4th of July? I'm craving some salad. I'm just going to snip the bottom off very carefully if I can get it in there. There we go. Oh, I cut off too much. That's okay. We'll make it work. Sorry about that. I was concentrating. There we go. See, I just cut off a little bit off the bottom. And then I got to do that with that one other piece here. Sorry, that was a little tedious. But you had to sit there. I haven't even looked at the comments. Okay. And I don't forget to check out the new release. It is live on the website. If you haven't checked it out yet. Okay. No, okay. Sorry, I thought I better check, make sure I wasn't missing anything. All right. So look at, I added just those few little stars. There's a little bit of sparkle on those few stars. You could do all of them, but I think I'm going to add some gems rather than sit here and quickly do all of that for all those stars. And we will grab our glue and just add gems to the rest of them, and we'll do crystal gems. So I'm just going to add a little glue. Dot, 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 not a lot. Is that the saying, I believe? I'm not even going to worry about getting them in the center. And then I feel like there's something missing here. So we're going to go ahead and put them here too. All right, let's grab some sparklies. And we'll get going on our next card. I want to make a mini slim card because I know I was asked about mini slim card. Mini slims cards were brought up during the live packing this week. And you guys know me, I haven't made a mini slim card in a while. So I thought that might be fun to do too. All right. I love using the jar lids because I can shake the jar. I shake it and it moves all my gems to the right direction. And I also remember I tell you guys, I don't worry about the extra glue because I can dab that extra glue off once I get my gems in place. And it dries clear. So you, instead of wanting to, if you didn't have a little star die to cut out all those little stars, which was a little bit, I mean, that's probably something that if I was not live, I could sit and do, but nobody wants to sit and watch me do that. Peel all those little stars off. But I think it makes it just kind of fun. And not too many gems, just enough. And then I'm going to take this, and it looks like I got to move my one over. Take this, and I'm just going to dab, dab, dab. And it looks like we're good. So here's card number 1 for red, white, and blue. Party like it's 1776. All right, let's move on and get another card. Trying to move them so I don't. I think for our next card, we're going to go ahead and use this. And I need to grab some Perfect Blend paper, which I did not grab before. Is this Perfect Blend right here? Yes, it is. We're going to do some very, very basic coloring. I just cut it A2 card panels dies. And we're going to stamp out our frame because I have not gotten a chance to use. Okay, now if you're going to ask, I do have a stick and stay mat in my mini Misty, but this one is from the Air class. I have the big one, and I chose to decide to cut off my panel from the Air and fit it to my mini. Probably, that was just the way I wanted it because I already have the big one and I already have my other one, and I'm not going to be traveling. If I travel, I travel with both. So that was just an option for me. I loved the class and I was excited to get my extra stick and stay mat, but I did not need the extra wells. It's perfect for that. And besides, I'm going to be going back down to my Air store. And so I can always order another one if I want, which I may still do. but I was tired of things moving on me, so I wanted to do that. So I thought this would be perfect to make a USA card because, you know, I haven't been able to use the friendly frames yet because mine, the post office was kind of slow on delivering mine. Stick my little pad thingy down on top of that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and color them first, and then I'm going to stamp them. So we're going to very quickly color these. I'm just going to color them out with some blue and some red. And I'm not going to worry about the white so much. And all I'm going to do is a little bit of blue from one end to the other, flicking. Just a little bit. I'm using Olo markers. And then actually I got something in the mail today that is a new to me product that I've been dying to try, and I have not tried, and I'm going to try it tonight for the first time. You could heat emboss instead. And then for this one, we're going to just kind of flick it up a little bit. I think what we're going to do for each one of these is flick up in from the outside in. And I'm not worried about going over the lines because I can cut right on the line for this one. We're going to flick up for each corner. And this was B47 from Olo. And then I'm going to grab my B46. Let's do they're very similar in color. Why, my one light is flickering, and it's flickering right in my eyeballs here. I wonder if my plug needs to be looked at to make sure it's plugged in all the way or something. And then for this one, I'm going to go back and forth. And then when I have those harsh, sometimes I get those harsh lines right in the middle. All I'm going to do is kind of go over them in a circle form, and then I will go back over and scratch one more time. And kind of go over I always go over the dark with my lightest, just to kind of deepen that back color. See? And then this, same thing. Go over it one more time. If I've got some strong lines, kind of go in a circular motion if you can, but I'm going to go back and forth because this is Americana, so I want dark blue. I might be changing my mind actually about that product I was talking about because I just thought of something else I want to do instead, I think. I'm going to go over it this way a little bit just because that helps get rid of those harsh lines. And then I'll go back and flick one more time over the center. Okay, so there's our blue. For our red, I don't have a lot of Olo markers yet in red. I'm going to use the 15 and the 06. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to flick in from all sides on the edges. Yeah, I still think I might, we'll see. And then this one, I went up from since it's a square, I can go either direction. Now reds tend to bleed, so you need to be kind of careful. Like I see this one's getting kind of juicy looking. So what I do is I'll keep a piece of paper kind of close and kind of run it on the edge if it looks a little extra juicy. And like I said, I went over the lines a little bit. I'm okay with that because I'm going to fussy cut these out very quickly. I could fuss for a die, but I'm not going to tonight. I'm going to cut them. They're squares. And I could even use my paper cutter. And this way. Okay. So there's my red. I could have gone with a deeper red, but, and then I'm just going to go back over them one more time with my next color, both directions. And then we're going to bring in the white in more of our background this time for our red, white, and blue. All right, I'm going to scribble over that one, and I'm going to go over the edges just a little bit to kind of darken the edge and make this nice red box. Okay, so there are our red, white, and blue. Now I am going to cut these out quick before we stamp. And I'm just going to quickly trim them. Because like I said, they're square. I'm actually going to cut them down a little bit. It's a little easier for me to handle. I'll put these off to the side for some other project. So all I have to do is cut them out. Easy fussy cutting, right? You could take a white gel pen and you could put some white gel pen on them, and that would like give some stripes and dots to these if you really wanted to make them like red, white, and blue. But we're going to add some silver. And I will show you how we're going to do that here in just a minute. Okay. Then the other thing I want to do is I'm going to get I had a black somewhere. Here, my black Copic, and I'm just going to run on the edge here a little bit. And that's just going to clean up the edges so that they don't have the white in case, and it makes it look a little better if I didn't do the best cutting. I'm just doing that over all the edges here. Kind of gives it a clean, finished look. And I'm going right sideways. I'm going to come up kind of close here. So I'm just going across like this, using the edge of my marker. And if you do that, if you cut right on the lines of if you're fussy cutting, it cleans up those edges just enough that on the top it looks like it's perfectly clean. Okay, so we're going to do our USA right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use Theodore's type because we have the different alphabet stamps. This month is Joey's type, and I'm going to use Theodore's type because I haven't had a chance to use that yet. And grab my USA. So I'm going to go ahead and U, S, and A. And I'm not going to worry about them being perfect. U, S. You know, you could also do 250 if you wanted to. I may end up seeing if I can donate these cards to go like overseas to deployed soldiers or something like that, or to veterans. I don't know. I just figured it'd be fun to do. So now what I'm going to do is a new to me product. You may have heard of these. This is a Lisa Horton Craft. This is the premium metallic pigment ink. I just found this only at Simon Says Stamp right now. I don't know if it's available anywhere else. They only had some. They had some in stock, and I just literally got this today. And I've been very anxious to try their inks. I have had this on my list for a long time, and I thought it would be very appropriate. I didn't know if it would work on Copics, and it's not looking very maybe because my Copics are still wet. But there's just the hint of a shine there. But I thought if it wasn't perfect, what I would do is, because there is a silver base to this, what I would do, and I told you we weren't going to do any of this tonight, but it's going to happen anyway. Pigment inks are great for heat embossing. And I love to heat emboss my alabaster pigment ink with my alabaster embossing powder. So I'm going to use my sterling embossing powder on my silver ink, pigment ink, and see just how silvery it looks. One of the reasons I really was excited to get this ink, I got the gold and the silver and the copper, which would go with the penny embossing powder, and then the gilded, of course. Okay, let's check it out and see how sparkly it is. When crush your fingers, that's going to work. Let's heat up our heat tool. Got my A. I thought it's really fun. I don't know if it makes a big difference. I'm going to try using the ink on dark colored cardstocks as well. I just wanted to try it tonight. There's my U. And there is a little bit of powder on my S here we want to fix because I did not anti-static powder tool before I stamped, but that's okay. And then my S. So there we go. It was worth a try. I guess I don't think you necessarily, the heat embossing, I think the silver sterling does a fabulous job. I don't think that the silver embossing powder enhanced it at all, but it was worth a shot. So I would just I'll probably just normally do it from now on with my embossing ink because I love how my our embossing ink works. I was just curious if you would get a little bit deeper color. All right, we need to make a card. Let's get a mini slim card out. I opted to do a 3 1/4, 6 inches by 3 1/4. Well, this one is, oh, is this one 3 2? Did I not cut any 3 1/4? Oh yeah, here's the 3 1/4. I cut both sides down. 3 1/4 by 6. And that is my favorite size for mini slim. And we're going to just kind of USA, but we need some funness to it. So I think we're going to bring in the white with the white border, but I'm going to go through that paper pad again. I think if I can figure out where, I did say we were going to use our scraps, but I think that might work for one last card. Just looking for the pattern paper. Did anyone see where I put the pattern paper? Oh, I'm looking right at it because it has these flowers on top. I was looking for something else. I thought maybe I would go through, there's some of our colored papers, and I'm actually thinking about this one and doing the white on white. However, we need to make it sparkle. Well, maybe not. Let's find a different. Yeah, that's the one we're going to use. Because I think this is too busy. It's too busy to do with these colors. You know, it's not going to work so well for me. So, and the daisies doesn't have enough red. And there's plain blue and there's this red. But I think we're going to use this one. But we're going to make it fun by grabbing our sparkle overlay sheet that I was talking about before. And I'm going to go ahead and just put it down and cut it. Oh, this one's not going to. That one's not going to work. We need to cut a new sheet. And this one we're going to use is the sparkle again. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim it with my paper trimmer because I want it to be right at 6 inches. And then I'm going to do 6, and then I'm going to do 3 inches. Because I don't need to do the whole sheet. And then we'll go ahead and stick that down on our paper. And because I'm doing a bigger sheet of paper, I can just make sure it's straight there. And then look at how sparkly our fireworks are now. Isn't that fun? Look at how beautiful that is. So let's cut that down. And you get a firework paper like that and you throw your, I'm going to trim it a little wide one, a little bigger. Just trimming off the tip because it wasn't quite there. Look at how beautiful sparkly that is. So we're going to put that down, and we got our white. So now we have our white, we have our red, we have our blue, and we have our sparkle. But I think we need a little bit more sparkle, in my opinion. So we're going to use some of the sparkly paper. And I'm going to grab the silver that came in this pack, which is the silver in that dog calls. Okay. If you're back, great. If not, you too. Also enjoy your holiday. Have a safe holiday. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and cut a whole 1.5 inches. No, I'm going to do 1 inch. We're going to just stick that right down the side. And we're going to, maybe we'll do it down the middle. I think we're going to do it down the middle. And then we're going to stick our USA right down there. Just like that. It's perfect. Now, this is a slick surface. So you want to make sure you're using good adhesive. You could use double-sided adhesive. I personally just use both liquid and runner when I am on glitter stock or on our sparkle overlay. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to stick it right down. Oh, I didn't stick. Oh, well, we didn't stick this on yet. So let's just stick this right down the center. And then we need to stick this down, of course. That moved. It moved. It moved. That is why I wanted to use a little liquid glue too, because it moved just a hair. There we go. It still doesn't look perfectly straight. Oh my goodness. Let's get our magnet on here and hold it in place. There to there. There we go. Use that straight line. Stick that there. You could put this on some of the heirloom tomato or the blue jean paper, which we will make our last card with. And then we're going to do our USA. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to, my glue is not working. We're going to go ahead and glue down the U and the A. U. Yeah. Get that magnet on there to get it gluing. I'm kind of doing it kind of at the same angle kind of thing. And then we're going to pop this puppy up. Someday I'm going to take pictures and show you guys what my desk looks like after each live, because it is usually such a hot mess. It's not even funny. I usually have to spend about an hour cleaning the next morning because I just throw things everywhere. Whew, I'm warming up, you guys. Starting to sweat. Okay, let's get our SA down. USA. And then I am going to actually put the thank you on here. We're going to put it right here because I think this would be a good thank you card for somebody who has been serving overseas. I'm going to pop that up as well. Or has been in the military. You know, I had a grandfather who was in the military. I have cousins who are in the military. We have a child who was in the military, So, I mean, obviously my son has friends that were in the military, former students, all that stuff. We got our thank you. There we go. We've got that. It's our second card. I'll bring that up so you can see it. And for the card tonight, we're going to go completely. And I'm going to trim that down to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. We're going to grab this beautiful piece of pattern paper that has red, white, and blue and trim that down to 3 1/4 by 5. We're going to layer that on top of this, And then I think we're going to grab some blue jean cardstock. And I'm just going to make you know what? I'm going to cut it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it down. We're going to use a die. I'm going to just cut it to an A2 card panel first. And I'm going to grab the Funky Label die, cutting die. We're going to grab a Funky Label and we're going to grab a topper. And I want one of these toppers. So we're going to cut this out for our mat. And then I'm going to grab some of the silver cardstock. No, I don't want to use silver, even though I started cutting that. I'm going to use some of the red. I think my packaging is old. It's got a different package label on it now. So, piece of red cardstock for the copper topper. And we're going to cut that out. We can get that die out of there. Okay. Flip it over, check it out. Looks like it's good. Run this. Oh, we're cutting the one in the wrong way. Oh, well. Excuse my arm for a minute. Pull out our Funky Label die. I don't even know why I cut this out because I wasn't planning on using it. It's actually going to layer it like this. So I'm not going to use this part because I don't need it. I'll just save that for another time. And then I'm going to grab another one of these. Red, white, and woohoo. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make a birthday card. Because somebody might have a birthday. It was in the 4th. So what I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to glue it down. And I'm going to glue it all over. And even glue. I'm going to glue. I used a lot of glue. We're going to glue it all over here. Okay. I should have waited to do that. We need to glue this first. Strike that, reverse it. You guys are all so quiet tonight. I'm going to go ahead and put this one on right here. And then we're going to put this on and I'm going to line it up. Oh, I wasn't going to do it that. We did that wrong. All right, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go ahead and glue it on here because that's not what I wanted to do. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on there and I'll save this and make another project of that. We got to cut one more. I hope you guys are okay with that. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you're rushing and you're not thinking what you're not paying attention to what you're doing. Grab another piece of cardstock. All right, let's do it right this time. We're making a flap. If you haven't figured that out yet, we're going to make a flap. Let's see if we can kind of organize here a little bit. Try this once again. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on here and I'm going to bend it over right there. You could actually crease it with a bone folder. I'm just going to use some glue and put it down. And I'm actually going to take a piece of double-sided tape and just put it right over the top. So now we have our little flap. And what we're going to do is our red, white, and woohoo is going to go right here. And our happy birthday is going to go in here. So let's get this down first. Go ahead and stick some foam tape on the back of this. And I'm going to leave it red, white, and woohoo, even though probably could have done some ink blending on it. But I think I know what I'm going to do instead there to make it a little. And then we'll take this and we're just going to glue this down. Right here. I used too much glue, so it stuck out on me. So I used a little too much glue, but that's okay. So we got red, white, and woohoo, and then we're going to take this and we're going to put this on our card base. And yeah, I have that piece on there. It doesn't need to come off. I'll just tape it down like that. Grab our white card panel to put this on, center it on like this. And then for some fun right here, let's grab our magnet and keep that shut. I'm going to quickly grab some pearl aqua pigment and we will add a little bit of pearl to that white. And then we will have our pearl. Oh, yeah, it does. It makes me too. Red, white, and woohoo! I'm just going to add a little bit of white pigment pearl. I'm not going to worry about going outside the lines because it's a party. And while that dries, I have the we have the star cutting die that came in the box a while back. I'm going to cut out some stars. Quick. And we could do different stars. I'm just going to use these white or these red ones. Add a little bit more red to our pattern. And I won't use them all. I'm going to put this on top too. So running just at 9 o'clock. So as we're finishing up here, I forgot to say, don't forget Fireworks Frenzy is in place through, I don't know if it's tonight or if it's through tomorrow night. And there are free gifts added. Penny, do you know? It is Mom, I thought of you exactly with this foiled paper when I was using it. This flower paper reminds me of my mom in a good way. And I thought I should makes me think of my mom, even though her birthday is in February. We're going to put some stars on here. Let's put a couple stars here and here. We'll put one here. And we'll put a bigger one right here. I'll stick that kind of underneath. Grab this one here. That little one right there. And then I feel like we need to put a couple stars on the inside too. Just to give it a little more woohoo. Here we go. Okay. So I did not put my bone folder down on there, so that's why that's kind of popping up a little bit, but it will be fine. Once it was in the mail, it was pushed. So here is our third card through the 7th. Thank you, Penny. And you can add free gifts at different levels. So make sure you check that out on the website. Red, white, and woohoo. So here's card number 3. Of course, I need, it has to go on a card base, but I always do that when I'm ready to make my cards. It takes up less space in my craft room. And then I've lost all of my cards. Here is card number 1. And here is card number 2. So I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to turn that one sideways, even though it's, well, maybe I can do it this way. There we go. Thank you for joining me tonight for some patriotic cards. Happy birthday, America. Woohoo. And I hope you have a great, safe holiday weekend, everyone. And I will see you pre-recorded next week. And then I will see you next week after that. Have a great evening and happy 4th of July.